From the year doctor now.
From the year doctor now. Okay, well, I was born in 1974 in Birmingham, and I suppose my creativity comes from a kind of point in my life. I guess when my mum died actually when I was 12, and then I wanted to do things like, before that I sort of was quite happy running around playing kiss chase and sort of playing armies and jumping down trees, climbing down trees. Then I sort of somebody wants to make things like monster cakes and cards, and I don't know, suddenly felt quite creative. As you hear children calling themselves now in schools, they use the word creative quite a lot. Anyhow, then I just got into art really at school and just wanted to make art. I wasn't very good at art either. Like I wasn't a kind of model art student at all. I wasn't very good at drawing or painting necessarily. I mean, I had an enthusiasm for it and an interest in it, and I sort of, in those years, I got interested in certain things sort of like music and stuff, and kind of really, influenced my creativity and just made me want to go to art college. So then I sort of spent the whole school trying to get into art college really, and not really worrying about anything else. It was just very important that when I got to art college, because I saw art college, at school I saw all these older girls and boys who were going to go off to art college, and I wanted to sort of be in their gang and go to art college, because I thought art college that was my focus, It's like, if I get to art college everything will be alright, so then I tried to get to art college, and I got into art college. I didn't get brilliant grades at GCSE or A-level or anything, I got C grades in art. So it was always a kind of struggle in some ways to get me through to the next point. I worked quite hard at it, but I wasn't brilliant at it. So then, but I said I was really enthusiastic about it. Then I went to art college in Maidstone. Then I went to do my degree in Exeter for 3 years. And then when I came out of art college, and I did do some work at art college, and I did printmaking and drawing, and I was interested in things. I was even interested in making work about film actually, but I didn't really know, I wouldn't say in those years I really knew where I was coming from that much. I mean, I kind of did, but I didn't feel like I totally knew where I came from. And then when I came out of art college, I kind of suddenly realised in the real world how important it was to find out where I was actually coming from. Because I think when you come out of art college sometimes, for the first time, I'm not talking about MA students necessarily, people who are 21 when they come out of college maybe, and this, might sound a bit passionate, I might sound a bit passionate, it was just how I felt. When I came out of art college, I just really wanted to sort of get down to business. Okay, what is it actually that I'm interested in, and what am I going to do? Am I going to make art? Am I going to be a music journalist? Am I going to be a DJ? Am I going to be a pop star? What am I going to do? And I kind of sort of set about trying to answer this question. I always knew I wanted to make art still. So then I started doing stuff in London, moved to London, and I had a full-time job, and in my spare time I wrote fanzines and did stuff where I wrote to sort of, artists like Karen Kilnick, wrote her a letter and said, who's actually got a upcoming show at a certain kind of gallery soon, and wrote her a letter saying, hi, could you send me something from this magazine? She sent me a letter back on a slide, but just to have that kind of because I found out about her art and then writing to her, it was a kind of my political engagement with the world, and this kind of spurred me on really, or it just sort of, it was a really important thing to do at that point. So so I did that. So that was one of the things I did. Another thing I did was kind of do things like little mail art projects where I kind of put adverts in Art and Newsletter to try and get people to send me stuff, and I was sort of say I was going to send them something back, but I never quite managed it. But it was the act of doing it really, the process. So I was just trying to find out, make little secret films with friends and do little performances in I was able to, present my work in a way, that was quite, it was quite accessible. It was accessible for me, but also accessible for, lots of people could get access to it. So I did that, and then anyhow, so that brings up to about 1999, maybe, possibly. I also did a show, art show in that time, like a small little show in a record shop. I worked quite hard to make a kind of show, which was, I tried to copy my whole record collection and do hundreds of paintings from that record collection. And there were like 100 paintings on cardboard in sort of plastic sleeves of my record collection. So I did that. And then, in 1999, I decided to get away from London because I didn't want to work. I've been working full time as a sort of receptionist, sort of like post-room assistant in a publishing company, and it wasn't really me, to be honest. I didn't really fit going to this city every day. And so at that point, I was like sort of 25. I really sort of felt like I really needed to get down to business. So then I decided to move to Bristol, so I landed in Bristol and thought about doing a residency. I was just coming to collaborating with another artist at a project there. But it seemed a place where that could happen, like you could work with artists and other people would have time to talk to each other about their work. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen in London, but that's why maybe I needed a slower pace of life to kind of try and work in work. You've got time to think about stuff. And so I signed on for a few years. And I got involved in a space called Cube Cinema for a while, which is this amazing volunteer-run cinema in Bristol that does all sorts of things like performance, cinema, like multi kind of cross-breed lives, which are kind of got a bit of music and a bit of cinema and a bit of art or something, or performance. And this is really good because around this space there are lots and lots of artists that I can kind of interact with, lots of really interesting artists as well, some people from kind of like the Irrational Collective, and just a lot, like a whole multitude of different people, like people who were into like media art, people who were into kind of performance, like rock climbing, skateboarding, just like a very kind of amateur feel to it, like lots of enthusiasts in the same space, really just wanting to run cinema. So I got involved with that, and then at the same time I started doing actually these drawings, which is this being lazy work, which is I guess my kind of thing that I've been doing for a I've been doing it for a long while, since 2000, collecting portraits of my friends and writing down what they say, or friends and people I meet. And so far I reckon I've got like over 50 sketchbooks and like thousands of drawings, which I'm kind of almost giving up on trying. I sort of a couple of years ago I was trying to archive, and sort of boasting, saying I'm going to archive all of these, I'm going to put them all on the internet and archive them all word by word, because obviously they've got words in them, and I wanted to archive them for the words that were in the pictures. But actually I don't think I'd like to think that I'm going to get around to that much, so I will.